We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go. Hi everyone, I'm Sophie, he's Mike. Welcome to our little corner of the podcasting universe. Hopefully you like the sound of our voices and you want to stick around for the show. Not that it stays in one place for long. I mean, after all, we are on the road with Mickey. So hop in the car and buckle up your seat belts because we've got an awesome adventure this week. Now a brief rundown before we get moving. First up, our roundtable talk where we'll discuss the main topic for this week, followed by some Disney trivia ranging from Disney history to a random Disney character of the day. Well, that's just about it. Everybody ready? Let's get this show on the road.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
Hi.
And we're on the road with Mickey. This is episode number 35 for August 31st, 2020. And before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out. We're recording today on Thursday, August 27th for Monday's show. And as everyone knows, the hurricane landed in Louisiana and Texas right on the border this morning. And our friend Brenda was supposed to join us today, but she couldn't make it because she had to evacuate her hometown. So everyone that's in the path of that storm, I just want you to know that we're praying for you and we're thinking for you and we're just looking forward to when it's all cleared out and hopefully everyone will be okay. So just know that we're thinking about you right now. But and Brenda, we miss you, and we're going to see you in an upcoming episode, okay? But today, like I said, is episode number 35, and we are going to publish on August 31st, and our feature topic is the Walt Disney World hidden Mickeys that you can find. So I think it'll be a fun show, and we're looking forward to talking with you about it and to hear what you have to say about it. So we'll get into that. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our friends that listen from around the globe. I just looking at some of our stats, Sophie, and it turns out we um, that we obviously have a pretty big listenership from the United States, but we also have listeners in Canada and in France and in Puerto Rico and in the Netherlands and in the UK and down in Brazil, over in South Africa, and even in Belgium and even some others, Germany and Israel.
Australia.
So Australia. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of exciting, isn't it, Sophie?
It is so exciting. I didn't realize we were that global.
Yeah, I didn't either. And it's just the power of the podcasting platforms, I guess. But anyway, hello to everyone from wherever you are, right, Sophie?
Yes, think of it is that we have no idea how many people actually listen to us talk on this podcast. So the fact that there are so many of you, that just makes my day. I am so happy.
Yeah, kind of made my day too. So everybody, thanks for listening, right, Soph?
Yes, thank you so much. And we hope you'll continue to listen because we don't want to just be talking to, well, no one.
Ourselves. Yeah. But anyway, so I thought that was kind of cool. So hello everyone. Now, like we said, our feature topic is the Walt Disney World hidden Mickeys, but like always, we have some fairly big cheddar from the big cheese, don't we, Soph?
Oh, definitely. And I'm taking dibs on the last one. I want to tell that one.
Okay. Do you want to tell the first one?
Sure, I'll tell the first one.
Okay.
All right. So, in Orange County, this is COVID news, but don't worry, it's a little bit good.
And it's Orange County, California.
Yes, in Orange
Not
County.
Florida.
Yeah, Orange County, California has been removed from the COVID-19 monitoring list by the state of California. This is welcome news because cases are dropping, but the county and cities in the area are taking a very cautious approach for a couple of weeks before announcing any changes. The good news is that this is one step towards a reopening date for Disneyland, which has since been closed indefinitely because they went back to phase one. So we're hoping that we will get an opening date for that soon, and we're also hoping that everyone will stay safe.
Yeah. The key on this is that Disneyland is located near Anaheim, which is part of Orange County. So it's a big deal. And I know that they had gone back to phase one, but this supersedes that because this is more recent than when they went back to phase one. So the fact that they were able to be removed from the monitoring list is welcome news for the residents that live in Orange County.
Hmm.
So fingers crossed. And like we said, it's welcome news, and it kind of piggybacks on what we reported last week with with being able to make hotel reservations for Paradise Pier Hotel and the Grand Californian Hotel. It kind of falls in line with that in some regards.
Hmm.
So things are inching closer out in California, and we can't wait for when Disneyland is able to reopen.
Hmm.
Now, learned also this week that on Monday, the 24th, Tepanito reopened in the Japan Pavilion. So the hours are from 4 to 9 p.m., and you can make your reservations online through your My Disney Experience app. And it's a big welcome because at the time when we visited, Tepanito nor Tokyo Dining were open, so you couldn't make a table service reservation there. So this is kind of cool that you can get back to at least part of the restaurants that they have at the Japan Pavilion. So that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
And then, do you want to take the next one or the last two, or do you want me to take this next one?
You take this next one, although
Okay.
I am really excited for it.
Yeah. So this is truly rumor, rumor speculation. He did say it, but I don't have any information that they're planning on doing anything like this. But Tony Baxter, who is a retired Disney Imagineer, and he worked on many attractions at Walt
Hmm.
Disney World and in Disneyland, he said that he would come out of retirement to work on an update on Journey into Imagination with Figment. So I think that is big time information. And if he's offering to come out of retirement to work on that, I wouldn't be surprised to see down the road that Disney takes them up on that offer. But like I said, no, there's no plans right now to do anything with Journey into Imagination, you know.
Hmm.
So I don't know when that would happen, but what do you think? Do you think that would be kind of cool,
I
or do you
think it
want
would
the
be
attraction just as it is?
I think it would be amazing because I've never seen the attraction as it was originally.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. And here's what we know. Regardless of COVID or pre-COVID, right, Sophie? Whenever
Hmm.
we would go to Journey into Imagination with Figment, there was never anyone in line for it,
Yeah, and
ever.
it's sad because it is a very good ride as it is,
Hmm.
but I think people understand that it's not all that it used to be. I think
Yeah,
people know that it was toned down, I don't want to say, but at the same time, that's probably what people think it is
yeah,
that it's not the same as it used to be. It's not as glorious.
yeah. And so what that means is that if it's such a slow, no line kind of ride, maybe there's room for it to become a bigger attraction than it used to be. So So maybe that would bring some energy to it,
Hmm.
So
Which it does have energy as it is. Yes, I
yeah,
do enjoy it as it is. However, I think it could be better.
yeah, right. I would like to see what it could become. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So that takes us to our last bit of cheddar, the cheddar that Sophie's chomping for.
Oh, yeah. I think that our friends in Australia will get a real hoot out of this. I think they'll really like this. To those of you listening in Australia, and I'm sad that this is not the case for the rest of the world, but there are Disney Plus drive-in theaters coming to Australia. They will be offered for a limited time and they start this fall, and from what we've heard, they will extend into the spring.
Yeah.
And
So
thing of it is that I really like the idea of a drive-in theater. I've never been to one myself, but I would really like to. So if any of you want to, oh, I don't know, maybe get us a few plane tickets and whatnot.
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I know it's not.
But yeah, it's a neat idea, going to a drive-in and just watching some Disney Plus, would be kind of neat to see what they put out and what movies
Hmm.
they offer and things like that. But you're right, a drive-in theater would be a lot of fun, and they're really scarce here in the States these days, at least in our
Yeah.
area of the United States. So
I think I've only seen one, and that was up in Virginia, and I'm not sure if it's there anymore.
I think it's still there, but I think because it's the only one, it is super slammed. It's super busy. So, and the fact that you can go to a movie and you're not sitting next to someone you don't know, so you got the social distance going on,
Hmm.
all that is great news and great information, and I think that makes it even busier. So,
Maybe we should do that then. Maybe we should get a bunch of drive-in theaters back.
maybe.
I
So
miss the
anyway,
movies.
yeah, I do too. But anyway, that wraps up our cheddar from the big cheese for this week. And now we're moving on to our feature topic, the Walt Disney World Hidden Mickeys.
Hmm.
So I thought, Sophie, you seem to know a little bit more about these than I do.
I do.
And so I thought maybe you could give us a little bit of an overview on how the Hidden Mickey actually originated.
I would love to do that. A common misconception that a lot of people have about the Disney parks is that hidden Mickeys have been around since the beginning. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but from what I've learned about the history of hidden Mickeys, it is not. And hidden Mickeys actually originated with one of the more recent parks, and that would be Epcot.
Okay. So
So,
around 1982.
mhm,
Okay.
versus 1955 and whatnot with Disneyland.
Yeah.
So, I will tell you the story about how Epcot was built. The producers, the executives of the Walt Disney Company looked at Epcot and said, this is going to be a park more geared to adults. And they got that part right. And the thing about Epcot is that it was the first park to sell alcoholic beverages
Hmm.
at regular stops throughout the park. And so they decided it would be highly inappropriate for the Disney characters, Mickey, Minnie, and the like, to be seen in a park that served alcohol. They figured it would be inappropriate, and
Okay.
therefore they completely banned all Disney characters from being inside the Epcot park. And the Imagineers took this as a challenge. So as they built each ride and each attraction, they started incorporating little hidden characters into the ride for people, just not necessarily for people to find, but just so that they could say, hey, the characters are here in the park, especially Mickey. He is here in this park, and you just have to find him. Well, people did find him, and they went ecstatic over it. everybody loved them. And from then on, since it was such a big hit, as the park got updated and remodeled, hidden Mickeys started creeping their way into every single Disney park that exists.
Okay. So it was almost like its own little scavenger hunt in a way, huh, Soph?
hmm It was the Imagineers' way of saying this is still a Disney park without the executives getting them in trouble.
Right. And they were able to have the characters, albeit in a different form,
hmm
so they didn't have the fur characters. And of
No.
course, nowadays Epcot is not like that. You can see characters in the parks. I've seen Duffy the Bear
hmm
at
And
Epcot, and we've seen Donald Duck
yep,
and princesses and so forth. So
yes.
it's not like that anymore. But the hidden Mickeys still continue.
hmm The hidden Mickeys are going to stand the test of time. That much I know.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, so what we thought we would do is I went out onto our Facebook group, On the Road with Mickey group, and I asked a question. I'm like, Sophie and I are going to talk about hidden Mickeys this week. Where are your favorite hidden Mickeys from? And we
hmm
have some of our favorites anyway, but I got a lot of feedback from some of the people in the group about what their favorite hidden Mickeys are. And even some pictures, which I will post in the show notes so that you can see, because some of these ones that they found are kind of hard to find. So
They are very hard to find.
and so having them there is kind of neat, and being able to see where it is in the actual part of the ride or whatever is kind of cool to be able to see that. So
hmm
so I will post in the notes this week. I'll post pictures, and you'll be able to see them easiest on our website, which is ontheroadwithmickey.com. But the text for the notes also appears on the Apple Podcasts and other podcast services, so you'll see all that there too. But anyway, we're just going to kind of go through a little bit some of the things that we've gotten and some of the ones that we like, and you tell us in the comments and send us an email or leave us a voicemail and tell us which ones are your favorites, or if these are ones that you had seen before, or
hmm
if we don't say one, tell us ones that we missed, because there's a million of them out there. So so
They
I
really
think,
are.
yeah, there's a ton of them, and it's impossible to go over every single one of them. But some of the ones that I like are to be found at the Haunted Mansion.
Mhm. Some of the ones that I like are to be found everywhere.
True. But at the Haunted Mansion, um, there's of course everyone. I think if anyone's ever been to Disney and they've heard, if they know about hidden Mickeys, I'm sure they've heard about the ballroom scene and the
hmm
table out in the ballroom scene with the hidden Mickey on the plates. Right, Sophie?
hmm Yep, that one is a classic hidden Mickey.
Yeah. And that one I think is probably at the Haunted Mansion, probably the easiest one to find too.
Yes, this is true.
So
Because I'm looking at some of the ones that you have down, and I'm like, I have never seen one of these before. And the other one, it took me so many years to find it.
yeah. So tell me, which one have you never seen before?
Well, at the end of the ride, next to the gate after you get off, apparently there's a hidden Mickey there. I have actually never seen it. And but the one that I have seen, and I've only seen it once because I found it quite recently, was in the graveyard scene. There is a small ghost to the right of the Doom buggy, and I think that's the ghost in the mausoleum, isn't it?
I'm not 100% certain, honey. So
Hmm.
I'll take your word for it. How about that? And someone can corroborate that or tell us nope, that's not true.
Yeah. Oh well.
but
Hopefully we're telling you stuff that's
yeah,
correct.
but these are two that I don't know that I've ever seen them either, Sophie, but I read about them and I learned about them from others, so that's why I included them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually have a post on mydreamsofdisney.com that's called the Haunted Mansion Hidden Mickeys, and that's where I got some of that information from
Mm-hmm.
because it was a collaboratory project with some other bloggers, and so I think that's where I learned about them. But yeah, so there's some others, and these are some that we're gonna have to go looking for too, you know.
Oh, yes,
Um,
definitely.
and then over in still in the Magic Kingdom, over by Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, there's a couple.
Mm-hmm.
There's well, one's a hidden Mickey, and that is right before you stop to get off of the train. You There's a spot right around as you're curving around where you'll see three gears, and the three gears form a hidden Mickey. And so it's fairly easy if you're looking for it right as you're getting ready to stop, you'll see it, and it's right on the ground. So and it's
Mm-hmm.
fairly big too, so it's pretty
Yeah.
easy to pick out. Um, but Sophie was telling me about a hidden Tinkerbell. So why
Mm-hmm.
don't you go into that a little bit, Soph?
I would love to, because although hidden Mickeys are the most common hidden character you'll find in any Disney park, there are other hidden characters throughout the parks, and I could go into a bunch over in Disneyland, but for now I'm here to talk about the hidden Tinkerbell, and it is, Daddy says it's a stretch, and I can kind of see why, but it is engraved into one of the rocks. It's just it looks natural, like it's a part of the rock that eroded away over time, and I'm not sure where in the ride it is, but it looks to be right next to a boarded up mine entrance. And you
Right.
can see her, it's a silhouette, and I sent Daddy a picture, and I'm sure he's going to put it in the show notes,
Yes, I
but it's
will.
the only part of the rock that is not completely smooth, so that's why I don't think it's a stretch. I think it is a confirmed hidden Tinkerbell.
Yeah. And I see what you're saying. I mean, to me it's kind of a stretch, but if you zoom it in, then it's not as big of a stretch. You know, you can see the wings and you can see her standing up, you know. So part of me is
Yeah.
like, yeah, maybe, but part of me is like, no. But it's, you know what? It's not meant to be easy in that one, I
No,
don't think.
no.
So, so I think for sure it is definitely, it's possible. And you know what? There's no wrong answers at Disney. So if you say it's a hidden Tinkerbell, then you're right. And if I say no, it's not, then I'm right. And so be it. We'll agree to disagree.
Yep.
But there's no wrong answers at Disney. So,
Mhm.
so then the next one that we wanted to go into is one of our favorites, and it's actually over in Epcot, and it is in Mexico Pavilion, right, Sophie?
Oh, definitely.
So I'll
Anyone
bet
who
everyone
knows?
already knows which one we're talking about, probably.
There are actually two.
There are two.
Mhm.
I like the one that's on the ride, not the one that is at the beginning. So why don't you tell us about those two?
Well, in the ride, and I'm going to go from end to beginning because that's the most popular order.
Okay.
So, in the ride, right at the end, right before you get to see the three caballeros sing on stage, there is going to be a tiny little float in homage to Donald, and it says Viva Donald. And right on that float, it's floating in the water, there are three drums, and they are arranged to look like a hidden Mickey.
Yep.
And that
Exact.
is the easiest one to find in the ride. And it's also right under the fireworks that take place on the ceiling, so of course it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and keep in mind, if you haven't seen it before, when you're on the ride, it'll be on your left.
Yes, it's on your
So it's
left.
on your left as you're on the ride.
Hmm.
Um, and it is cute, you know. And Donald is he's a pinata in that scene, isn't he?
Oh no, back in the earlier scene where so most of the ride takes place as clips on the screens that you pass by.
Uh-huh.
But in one room, because it's a room, there is a grand fiesta going on. And I think at one point it was El Dia de los Muertos because there were skeletons playing over the archway that you pass under.
Uh-huh.
And in that scene, there is a pinata that looks a lot like Donald. And I
Okay.
remember hearing at least once way early on when I was very young and I was first going on, you could hear Donald being like, "Hey, let me down! I'm not a pinata! Let me down!"
Okay. So I got that confused. I don't remember ever hearing him say that though, but that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
And so, where is the other one, Sophie, on the Three Caballeros?
The other one is extremely hard to find, or at
It's
least
very hard for me.
it was very hard for me too, because I was thinking that it wasn't going to be shaped the way it was. And it
Okay.
is actually in the smoke of the volcano that is up on the wall at the very beginning of the ride. You can see it from the entrance to the pavilion itself because the ride passes by the rest of the pavilion before going into the ride.
Hmm.
And in the smoke of the volcano, there will be a hidden Mickey. And me, at first, I thought that it was going to be a hidden Mickey profile, so that it was Mickey, but he was looking to the side, so there would be his nose and his ears and his head. I thought that's what it was going to look like, and every time I looked, I could not see it. Then, one time, I decided, you know what? It's probably not a profile. So I looked into the smoke, and there will be a patch of the smoke that is missing from the rest. And that patch will look like the classic three-circle hidden Mickey that you see. It's not very big, but once I saw it, I was like, oh!
Yeah. And so it kind of dissipates too. And so you got to
Yes.
be real careful because if you look at it a little too late, then it doesn't really look like a hidden Mickey anymore.
No, because it's not going to be there all the time. There are some times where it's
Right.
missing because
Yeah.
the volcano smoke is actually animated. It is not a mural. It is a moving animation that is posted behind the rest of the scening in that particular scene, which is very stunning, by the way.
Yeah. So, um, so those are the two that we know of for the Grand Fiesta Tour. And if you
Hmm.
know of others, let us know. Remember, you can leave us a comment on the online or in the group or send us an email. The email address is info@ontheroadwithmickey.com. And and I think that's the only two I know of for Grand Fiesta Tour. But
Hmm.
the next one we have is also in Epcot. It's over in Future World, and it is Spaceship Earth.
There are
And
actually many. There
there,
are
there,
actually many, but we're going to mention two here.
yeah. And this first one was reported to us by our friend Denny, who
Hmm.
he's a really big Disney fan, and he lives in Florida. So he has the fortune of being able to go to Walt Disney World fairly frequently. But
Hmm.
he mentioned that on the artist table during the Renaissance period of Spaceship Earth, if you look closely, you can see a hidden Mickey that is paint rings on the table.
Hmm. It
And
is. We have never seen that one, but
yeah, it's
probably because it seems to be impossible for us to see from the angle that we get. I don't know
yeah,
how he found it.
I don't either, but he posted a picture, and so I will post that in the show notes with all the
Hmm.
other pictures. And it's really cool when he posted it and I was able to see it. I'm like, wow, that's really neat. So,
Yeah.
So I think that's a really cool one, and that's one of those ones that's going to be really hard to find, I think.
Oh yeah, almost impossible. But then again, the thing about Spaceship Earth is that since it was an Epcot ride, and it was probably there from the start, they
It would have
really
been.
have to be very careful about putting the hidden Mickeys in that ride particularly because it was one of the first rides I think that was in Epcot,
It
and
was.
therefore it was there during the ban of all the Disney characters. So they
Yeah.
have to be really careful about putting hidden Mickeys in that ride. And actually, I found another one. I only just found this 5 minutes ago because I was like, I know there is a hidden Mickey in this particular part of the ride, but I don't know where it is.
And Sophie, just FYI, Spaceship Earth opened with Epcot. So
Yeah,
it
I
was
didn't.
there on day one.
Yeah, I didn't know when it had opened, but I had figured it was there from the beginning, and sure enough, I was right.
Yep. So so this other hidden Mickey on Spaceship Earth, why don't you tell us some more about where it is?
I would love to. So, the thing about Spaceship Earth is that it has the most beautiful murals you could ever imagine. And I think there are a few other hidden Mickeys hidden in the backdrops of many of the other scenes inside the ride itself. But this one is there before you even get on the ride, before you even get into the.
The building, the
Yeah.
the geodesic dome. Yeah.
hmm
And
And this
it's
one is on the mural right outside, right in the front, and it is so hard to see. I think there are actually two there, but I only count one because I'm looking at another one and I don't really see it. So the one that I'm counting as completely there will be on the satellite in the mural. There is a satellite because the mural is about space and history. So there's a satellite there, and on that satellite there are four numbers, and those numbers are 2350. And in the three is a different color than all the rest. It's black and the others are red. If you look really closely at the three, you even have to kind of change the way you're looking at it. You have to tilt your head a little. And finally, you can see the hidden Mickey inside the three. And I never would have been able to see that from where I stand in the line queue. You have to get super close.
yeah. And but what's really cool though is you can stop and let people go around you
hmm
and stare at it, and then you'll be able to see it. Or you can grab a picture of it with your phone and zoom it in, and
Yeah.
then you'll be able to see it, I think, a little bit easier.
hmm
So it's kind of cool. So that is one of the fun ones, I think,
Yep.
um, because I was looking at it when Sophie sent it to me. I was looking at the three and just seeing the three, and then all of a sudden it's like the light bulb went off, and I saw the hidden Mickey inside the curves of the three.
hmm
So it was really neat.
Yeah,
That
that
they did a
one.
really good job with that one.
Yes, that one is amazing. I almost like it as much as the Maelstrom one, but Maelstrom isn't there anymore, so.
Yeah, yeah. So our friend Deb, Sophie,
Mhm.
we had her and we had Pam on as guests in one of our previous episodes.
Mhm.
She posted in the group about a hidden Mickey that can be found in It's a Small World. And
Oh,
the
really?
one that she likes is in the Africa scene. There's a hidden Mickey in the purple flowers on a vine on the elephant's left side. And I
Hmm.
copied all this directly from her comment. And she said that it was done by Walt Disney Imagineer artist Mary Blair, who created the drawings and the doll designs for It's a Small World, of course. And so that is one of her favorites, um,
Mhm.
because I don't know, when I'm on the rides, I'm pretty much just enjoying the ride, and I'm not really always looking for a hidden Mickey. So I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Oh no, I don't think I have either, but I'm looking at it right now and I can immediately see it. It is there. And there are even actually there's another one I think over by the giraffes too.
Okay. So we need to check that out next time we're down.
Mhm.
Okay. So um that one is Deb's favorite one to see, and we'll also check out for the giraffe one as well.
Mhm.
And then another Pixie agent, her name is Cheryl. She posted that two of her favorites are on the fireplace chimney at Wilderness Lodge and
Hmm.
also on the rocks at the exit of Ariel's Undersea Adventure. So, two spots where you can find hidden Mickeys for her, and
Yep.
she likes those.
Mhm. I'm looking for it right now, actually, because I don't think I would be able to remember it off the top of my head. We have unfortunately never stayed at the Wilderness Lodge.
No, but we've been there
Mhm.
when we ate at Whispering Canyon.
Oh, hey,
So we can
there
look
are
for it the next
actually
time we're there.
tons.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. You know, the fun part about a hidden Mickey is that they're so easy to make that you
Mhm.
can pretty much include them in just about anything, and it gives the kids especially something to do when they are in the middle of waiting in a line or something.
Yep.
So, like we said at the beginning, it's almost like it's a scavenger hunt. So,
Mhm.
you can put a hidden Mickey just about anywhere, and that's why there's so many of them. One of my favorites is actually over in Epcot, over in the aquarium for the sea and with Nemo and friends. And you remember there's a hidden Mickey in the on the on the on the bottom of the aquarium
I
with
do
a couple.
remember.
I think it's made out of it might be gears or it might be
It's
round
made out
metal
of,
or
I think it's made out of rocks, actually, in the bottom of the
yeah,
aquarium.
you're right. You're right. It is the rocks. They made the
Yeah.
rocks.
And I
That's
do
what it was.
believe
And I've got a
over
picture somewhere of
in
it. So,
I do believe that there's a Nemo ride over in Disneyland as well. I don't remember where it is, but there they also have a hidden Goofy, or not really hidden, but he's there on the floor of the aquarium, and it looks exactly like Goofy.
okay. Okay. I don't know as much about Disneyland as you do. But
Yeah.
um but the one in the sea with Nemo and friends is one of my favorites. So, and that one's actually just out in the middle. It's not actually part of the ride at all. I'm sure there might be some with the ride as well.
Mhm. Oh wait, no. It's actually in Disney World.
Okay. Okay.
And here, I'm
And
gonna send this to you.
okay. And then I've got a couple more. Well, I've got one more, and then Sophie, why don't you take the last one, and
Mhm.
then we'll kind of wrap up our look at hidden Mickeys. Um,
Yes.
but back over at Magic Kingdom, on the Winnie the Pooh ride, when you see the radishes or the garden, Rabbit's Garden, if you
Mhm.
look at the radishes, you'll see that one of the radishes is a hidden Mickey. So
Yes.
So keep that in mind when you're riding Winnie the Pooh. And you know
Mhm.
what? We had so much fun riding Winnie the Pooh in July, didn't we? So
I love Winnie the Pooh.
it was
Oh
so
my
funny. It
gosh.
was like such a throwback because we hadn't ridden it in what 4 or 5 years probably because it's such a kiddie ride. But
It's
it
my
was just
childhood.
it was just awesome being able to ride Winnie the Pooh again and
Mhm.
again, and we rode it probably 3 times. And you know what? It was just fun.
Yes, I
It
love
was
it.
just fun. So, so tell me, Sophie, living with the land over in Epcot,
Mhm.
Future World, what do we got for hidden Mickeys there?
There is actually so many different hidden Mickeys, and it's hard for me to list them all, but
Give me
I can.
one.
Okay. Well, in Living with the Land, there are, well, I'm going to give you two actually.
Okay.
So, in the original scenes, like the rainforest and the desert and the
Uh-huh.
plains that you pass through that you can see from the Garden Grill, there are not any like there aren't any hidden Mickeys in there. But
Okay.
then when you get to the labs and the places where they grow all the food,
Right. The hydroponics. Yeah.
yeah, there are actually a ton of hidden Mickeys in there, and I think that's just their way of having a little fun while they work. You can see them everywhere. They even grow tomatoes into the shapes of hidden Mickeys because they put them in these molds. I think they put these molds around the fruit, and then as the fruit grows, it looks like a hidden Mickey.
Nice.
And it's
Isn't
not the
there a,
tomatoes, it's the gourds.
I was gonna say, isn't there a pumpkin that's shaped like a hidden Mickey?
I think so. The one that I mentioned first, though, and I noticed this one immediately, was that in the hydroponics area where they keep the shrimp, they have this little net thing. I don't know what it does, but it's meant to harvest shrimp, I think, and it's shaped like a hidden Mickey. And then there are some times when they put a little bow on it and it looks like a hidden Minnie.
Oh, okay.
hmm And then there are cords on the floor, and there are cords on the floor in the shapes of hidden Mickeys. They trim the topiaries to look like hidden Mickeys. They even have this patch of, like, I want to say cabbage or lettuce, and they arranged each plant to not only spell out Epcot, but also to have a Mickey underneath it. And it is
Nice.
amazing to see. They really went all out. And then in the murals somewhere, there are tons of hidden Mickeys and murals. I don't know if this is part of Living with the Land, but I'm seeing tons of hidden Mickeys just throughout all of these wall paintings. And actually, this might be in the entrance to the pavilion itself.
Okay.
But yes, they go all out when it comes to hidden Mickeys, especially in Living with the Land. I think that's just because they want to remind themselves that hey, they may work in a garden, but this is a Disney garden. And
Right.
I'm not quite sure, but I love what they do. It's just so fun to watch and see what they do with the work that they have. It's amazing to watch them.
Okay. Well, good. And of course, like we always say when we talk about various things, especially such an open-ended topic like we've got here, um, there is so much more that we haven't even scratched the surface on as far as that. We didn't talk about any hidden Mickeys over at Animal Kingdom. We didn't talk
Mm-mm.
about any at Hollywood Studios, although there are some at Hollywood Studios in where was it? Over at Rock and Roller Coaster. There's one in the control room where the cable is shaped like a hidden Mickey, and
Mhm.
there's also hidden Mickey over. There's some hidden Mickeys over as part of Tower of Terror. So that's interesting to think about. And there's hidden Mickey in Muppet Vision 3D.
Mhm.
Um, so there's some over there as well. And even Star Tours. So there's a boatload of ones that we didn't even get into.
And then,
But
of course, there are the ones that aren't even inside the parks or the
yeah,
resorts for that matter. I'm
right.
looking at a picture of a solar panel farm that helps to power
Exactly.
Disney. It is shaped exactly like Mickey.
Yeah. And the power lines from Florida Power, I think is who they are. Maybe it's Duke Power. But the power lines coming into the park have the pole coming out of the ground, and then where the power lines go is shaped like a hidden Mickey.
Mhm.
It's a Mickey head. So you're right. There's ones that aren't even done by the Imagineers.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
I
So,
love it. I
and
love
I
it, love it, love
remember,
it.
I remember seeing someone posted a picture of um, a part of the moon, I think it was, and that picture looked like a hidden Mickey. It looked like a Mickey head on the surface of the moon.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool. I gotta find that one. I'll text it to you, Sophie, if I find it. I saw that years ago, but I'm like, see, there's hidden Mickeys everywhere, even in space.
Yep,
So,
and literally everywhere because I cannot count the number of pins that I have because when I was younger, Daddy and I were really big on pin trading. I cannot count the number of times I looked at my pin and I saw a tiny little Mickey in the corner and I was like, Daddy, look, hidden Mickey. And he was like, yeah, you showed me that 5 minutes ago.
yep, exactly. All right. So there is just so many hidden Mickeys to be found. So keep your
Hmm.
eyes open, people. Okay, keep your eyes open. And you remember we had the fish that had Mickeys on them
Oh, yeah, and I literally
in our
named them
aquarium.
Mickey and Minnie.
Yep. So anyway, hidden Mickeys everywhere in the world to be found. So find them, post them in the group. Okay, let's get some fun going with this. But um, but we're gonna wrap up our feature topic. And now, Sophie, it's time
Hmm.
for this day in Disney history for August 31st. So take it away.
I would love to do so. And this one is actually really important.
Okay. Aren't they all important?
Well, yes, but this one specifically.
Okay. Go for it.
All right.
I'm
August
listening.
31st, 1938.
Okay.
Walt and Roy Disney place a $10,000 deposit on a certain 51-acre tract on Buena Vista Street in Burbank, California.
Oh,
Can you guess what was built there?
I am going to say that that became the home for the Walt Disney Studios.
That is exactly right. They will
Nice. Score, I
They
got one.
will use this land to build a new modern studio. The success of Snow White has enabled the Disney Brothers to purchase the $100,000 property from the Burbank Department of Water and Power. Construction will begin in 1939.
There you go. Nice. That's a big deal. You're right, Sophie. That
Hmm.
is a big deal. That's a really big deal. And that is that the only history you got for us today?
Well, of course, there is one over in 1985, but this one's not as happy.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
if you want to talk about it, go for it. It's
oh,
up to
don't
you.
don't worry, they make it through this. August 31st, 1985, at 5 p.m., the Walt Disney World Resort closes due to advancing Hurricane Elena.
Ah,
The eye of Elena will remain essentially stationary this day off the Florida coast near the town of Cedar Key, but will continue to intensify. The fifth tropical storm, fourth hurricane, and first major hurricane of the season, Elena first developed near Cuba from a tropical wave.
okay. Yeah, not a fun time, but they did make it through okay.
At
So,
least they reopened.
yep. All right. So that takes us to this Disney Who's character.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're talking about hidden Mickeys, I'm going to go with one of Mickey's friends.
Ooh.
So, because we've already talked about Mickey, we talked about
Hmm.
Mickey, um,
Minnie. We talked about Minnie.
about,
Did we talk about
Donald,
Daisy?
and we talked about Daisy. We talked about Minnie on January 13th.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Mickey on April 6th. We talked about Donald on June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Daisy, July 13th.
All right then.
And today we're going to talk about Goofy.
Yes. Perfect. So tell me about Goofy.
Well, Sophie, Goofy is beloved by most of his friends, except sometimes Donald Duck, who finds Goofy's antics to be highly irritating.
Mm-hmm.
Goofy is fun loving, well intentioned, and yes, goofy.
Goofy.
Goofy has his own way of doing things, which means he often finds himself in comical, if awkward, predicaments. He is also a bit of a klutz, always tripping over his own feet. But never fear, Goofy easily bounces back from even the wildest of situations without a scratch. Because he's our Goofy, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And you know, Goofy is a big time deal. He's got the big ears.
Mm-hmm.
And when Sophie was little, she kept her hair really long. And mommy
Like I
would
do
put it,
now.
yeah, mommy would put it in pigtails and or ponytails. And she would see Goofy, and Sophie would go whoop with her hair like that, and then Goofy would go whoop with his
With
ears.
his ears. We have a picture of that.
Yep, we got several pictures. We saw that at an Animal Kingdom block party at night when we had extra magic hours. We saw that um, at one of the restaurants when he was a character,
Mm-hmm.
and he is also, I think, a character at the Cape May Cafe for breakfast. But yeah, we saw Goofy several times where that happened, and so that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But Sophie, 3 bits of did you know? I think you'll
Do
know probably all of these.
okay.
So I'm gonna phrase it more like trivia. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So did you know? Do you know what Goofy's first appearance was in? What film it was in?
First appearance. I do not remember the name. No, I do not know.
Okay. It's Mickey's Review.
Hmm.
Do
Okay.
you know what Goofy's original name was?
Goofy's original name was Dippy Dog.
Yep, and dog spelled Dawg, the correct way, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yep, and he was originally named Dippy Dog.
And that's how you set him aside from Pluto. Pluto is a dog. Goofy is a dog.
Exactly. And then you've heard his catchphrases. I'm gonna try and say them, but Goofy's catchphrases are "Gorsh"
Gorsh.
and "Yuck." So how'd
Yeah,
I do?
you got them okay.
Okay, so I did. They're passable. But anyway, Goofy is our Disney Who's Who character for today. And
Hmm.
that closes us out with our Walt Disney quote. And for this, the text is a little too small, so I need to put my glasses back on.
Hmm.
But I am going to welcome us to a very special place using the words of Walt Disney from the opening of Disneyland. So, you ready? Put
Hmm.
on your listening ears, people. To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here, age relives fond memories of the past, and here, youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world. And I know that was said on July 17th, 1955, by Walt Disney on the opening day of Disneyland. But that quote rings true even at Walt Disney World, I think. And even though
That is
Walt wasn't
amazing.
there for Walt Disney World's opening, he was there in spirit, and he would have said the same thing, I think.
I
So,
agree.
so that is our Walt Disney quote for today. And Sophie, that wraps us up for this week. So we got to figure out what we're going to talk about for next week, and we will um, put our thinking caps on, and we will talk with Brenda and see if she can join us next week. And if not, we'll put her for the following week or whenever she can join us. But we
Mhm.
will come up with a great topic off air. And
Indeed.
so let me just say that On the Road with Mickey is sponsored by Pixie Vacations by Mike Ellis and Tech Solutions NC. If you have any computing or travel needs, reach out to them. Tech Solutions is found at techsolutionsnc.com or on Facebook. And you can reach Mike for travel needs at mike@pixievacations.com or on Facebook at Pixie Vacations by Mike Ellis. Sophie, thanks for hosting with me. It was fun. I think we had a lot of fun talking about hidden Mickeys.
I
And
agree. I had lots of fun.
yeah, and we will
See you on
see
the
you on the
road.
road. Bye.
Bye.